Science is an organized way of gathering and analyzing evidence about the natural world. The goal for science is to provide natural explanations for events in the natural world. Scientific methodology involves observing and asking questions. That is the act of noticing and describing events, making inferences. That is logical interpretation based on what scientists already know. Forming hypotheses. That is the scientific explanation for a set of observations that can be tested. Conducting control experiments. This means that whenever possible, a hypothesis should be tested by an experiment in which only one variable is changed. This type of experiment is called a control experiment. In the control experiment, the variable that is changed is called the independent variable, and the variable that is observed and that changes in response to the independent variable is called a dependent variable. An experiment should be divided into groups: the control group, where all variables are the same except for the independent variable, and the experimental group. Next is collecting and analyzing data, where scientists gather information. Finally, drawing conclusions, where the hypothesis is supported or refuted.
Good scientists share scientific attitudes, or habits of mind that lead them to exploration and discovery. Curiosity, skepticism, open-mindedness, and creativity help scientists generate new ideas. Curiosity is a sensitivity to small discrepancies in an otherwise ordered world. Results from previous studies spark curiosity and lead to new questions. Good scientists are skeptics, which means that they question existing ideas and hypotheses, and they refuse to accept explanations without evidence. Open-mindedness is when scientists are willing to accept different ideas that may not agree with their hypothesis. Researchers also need to think creatively to design experiments that yield accurate data. Scientists share their findings with the scientific community by publishing articles that have undergone peer review. Publishing peer-reviewed articles in scientific journals allows researchers to share ideas and to test and evaluate each other's work. A theory is a well-tested explanation that unifies a broad range of observations and hypotheses and that enables scientists to make accurate predictions about new situations. Bias is a particular preference or point of view that is personal rather than scientific.
1.3 Studying life. Biology is the study of life. Living things have some characteristics in common, like they are based on a universal genetic code. All organisms store the complex information they need to live, grow, and reproduce in a genetic code written in a molecule called DNA. They grow and develop. Organisms detect and respond to stimuli from their environment. A stimulus is a signal to which an organism responds. They are made up of cells, the smallest units considered fully alive. Taken as a group, living things evolve. Living things obtain and use material and energy. The combination of chemical reaction through which an organism builds up or breaks down materials is called metabolism. All organisms need to keep their internal environment relatively stable even when external conditions change dramatically. This condition is called homeostasis. All organisms produce new similar organisms. Most plants and animals engage in sexual reproduction. Here, cells from two parents unite to form the first cell of a new organism. Other organisms reproduce through asexual reproduction, in which a single organism produces offspring identical to itself. The study of biology revolves around several interlocking big ideas: the cellular basis of life, information and heredity, matter and energy, growth, development and reproduction, homeostasis, evolution, structure and function, unity and diversity of life, interdependence in nature, and science as a way of knowing. Biology includes many overlapping fields that use different tools to study life from the level of molecules to the entire planet. Here is a peek into a few of the smallest and largest branches of biology. This is global ecology. And this is biotechnology. Other branches of biology are paleontologists, entomologists, and a molecular biologist. Many experiments involve gathering quantitative data. Scientists need a common system of measurements, so they use a metric system. The metric system is a decimal system of measurement whose units are based on certain physical standards and on scales on multiples of 10.
Living organisms operate by expending energy. Organisms need energy for growth, reproduction, and their own metabolic processes. Autotrophs use solar or chemical energy to produce food. They capture sunlight or chemicals and convert it into forms that living cells can use, also called primary producers, which are the first producers of energy-rich compounds that are later used by other organisms. The process of photosynthesis captures light's energy and uses it to power chemical reactions that convert carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and energy-rich carbohydrates such as sugars and starches. Researchers revealed that in deep-sea ecosystems dependent on primary producers that harness chemical energy from inorganic molecules, these organisms carry out chemosynthesis, in which chemical energy is used to produce carbohydrates. Most of them are found in deepest, darkest ocean and deep-sea volcanic vents or hot springs. Animals, fungi, and many bacteria cannot directly harness energy from the environment as primary producers do. These organisms are known as heterotrophs. They must acquire energy from other organisms, but they are also called consumers that rely on other organisms for energy, and nutrients are called consumers. Consumers are classified by the way in which they acquire energy and nutrients. Carnivores kill and eat other animals. Herbivores eat plants, leaf roots, seeds, or fruits. Omnivores include both plants and animals. Scavengers consume the carcasses. Decomposers, such as bacteria and fungi, feed by chemically breaking down organic matter. And retrievers feed on detritus particles. Detritivores commonly digest decomposers.